Hi, I'm Dan Harlan. You know, I think magicians should do the impossible, not just the difficult or the improbable, but something truly weird, something that just shouldn't happen, something visual, but impossible, something quick, startling, where people just scratch their head and they say, did that actually happen? Did he really do that to those two cards? Well, you can if you have Vortex.
A lot of people don't know this. If you place the cards just on the right angle and you spin them nice and fast, they'll actually melt together, just like that. You can actually see that they actually melted together. But if you try hard enough, you can actually separate the cards.
Okay? I'm going to use these two cards, but don't let that influence the card that you're thinking of. Because I'm going to use these two to try to draw out the card that you're thinking of. I know you've got a beer in your hands there, but can you each take maybe one of the cards and make sure that there's nothing special about them, that they are just cards?
Just a card?
Yeah. All right, fantastic.
Check it out, baby.
Just cards. All right. So what you need to do for me, have you ever been hypnotized?
Yes, I have actually.
Nice. Then this will be quick. Because if you've been hypnotized before, this will take effect pretty quickly. I want you to look right there. Would you stand closer to her so you can see it too, just in case it happens? I want you to look right there in the center, because as I move these cards around, they will seem to mix together. They will seem to mix together, swirling together in the center. Okay?
Okay.
But think about the card that you saw. You've got a card in your mind.
Okay.
Think about that card.
Yeah.
Are they mixed together? Not yet. Let's keep thinking about that card.
Whoa!
Keep thinking about the...
Okay.
And they've mixed together? Right there in the center? Oh, perfect. Perfect. Two cards locked together. Let me peel them apart.
What? Okay. You're serious?
I saw the Two of Hearts. Is that correct?
What? Yeah.
Hello, welcome to Vortex. I'm Dan Harlan. And you have at your disposal a really cool gimmick using just a single specially printed playing card with this very odd design on it. All you need is this and a regular deck of cards, and you can show people something that's really impossible. It's my belief as a magician that we should do the impossible, not just the improbable or the difficult. And so even if you just normally work with a regular deck of cards, by adding just this one gimmick, you can give them a visual effect that they've never seen anybody else do before. I'll show you the simple setup, the way that I like to do it. You just have your gimmick. On one side it's a regular card, on the other side it's got that special printing. And you just make sure that the card that matches your gimmick is on the bottom of your deck. You then place the gimmick on top of that, and you're ready to go. During your performance, you'll pull the two queens out of the deck. You can hand them out to be inspected, and as they're being inspected, you just take a break beneath the gimmicked card, like so. When you get them back, you want to make sure that the Queen of Spades is face up on top of the gimmick, the Queen of Clubs face up on top of that. You then pick up all three cards and hold them by the corners. Now it looks like nothing has been added to the queens because that 5 of diamonds is still here, but you've secretly added your gimmick behind the two queens. And when you're holding it by these two corners, you can see on the back the swirled pattern. It looks like this. Now all you're going to do is take the frontmost queen, that's the queen of clubs, you're going to turn it over, and you're going to place it against the gimmick so that it lines up with the artwork that's already in place. You can see the effect already on your side. From the front, it just looks like you're positioning the two cards. And now it's really a simple matter of showing those two cards and swirling your hand around, getting your spectators' attention, and then you're going to turn the two cards around. Now there's a couple of approaches, but here's the most subtle. If you just turn your hand down to the side like this, so that they can get another look at the cards, and then as you move them across your body, you're going to pivot your hand around the cards so that the same edge stays toward the spectators. So I'll show you that again. It goes from here, and then you just push with your ring finger against the cards as you turn your hand around and then pull with your index finger. Now you'll be holding the cards in front of yourself, again, with the normal side showing. As soon as you turn your hand up, that's when the gimmicked artwork comes into view. Now if you do this and spin at the same time, they don't get to see the effect until you slow your hand down. And now you can show them that the cards have swirled together. Now you're going to leave it in this same position and bring your hand palm up away from yourself with the cards held squarely together and your index finger pressed against the normal back. If you take your ring finger and hold on to the bottom edge of the Queen of Clubs, when you press with your index finger, the top corner, where your right thumb is, will release, and both the gimmicked card and the Queen of Spades will flip forward. If you position the deck just like this, they'll flip forward onto the face of the deck, like so. The gimmicked 5 of diamonds will square with the normal one. You push off the Queen of Spades, and now you just have 2 normal cards again. This action is known as a face-up cleanup. It's very underused in Magic. Usually when you clean up an extra card, you're adding it to the back of the deck. But by doing this method, it looks like that 5 never changes. Now I'm going to show it to you again, going through all the moves very smoothly. Here's the 2 queens. They're inspected. You're getting a break underneath your gimmick. You lay the 2 queens on and square the 3-card packet. You grab it by the corners. You flip the Queen of Clubs around and position it, lining it up with the gimmick on your side. That's what it looks like. You then swirl it around, move it off to the side to take a look at it, bring it back in front of yourself, pivoting at the same time, bring it up, turning your hand over, show the change, display it on this side, bring the deck in place, flick the cards off onto the deck, show the 2 queens, and immediately hand them out. Now at this point you can simply clean up the 5 of diamonds that's here. You don't have to do anything quickly with it because it doesn't look like anything has changed on the deck. But while they're taking a look at the queens, you can simply palm off the gimmicked card, and again it doesn't look like the deck changes. Watch that again. You come over, you palm off the gimmicked 5, and it looks like the deck is still exactly the same. And then you can hand the deck out to be inspected as you put the gimmick away in your pocket, in your jacket pocket, or go in to get something else. The deck, the queens, everything is completely clean. Now that you understand the basics of it, let me show you a couple of variations. It's actually pretty simple to get into. Same setup. Pick up the 3 cards, get into that position. And you might be familiar with a change known as the shapeshifter change. Well, the shapeshifter change started out being called the pivot color change when it was invented in 1964 by Noel Stanton. And it was originally done from this position, right in front of your face. And you would shake the cards up and down as you would pivot them around. It's the same move that we're using down here in a subtle way, but I'm going to show it to you right here. First, I'll do it slowly. When you move the cards up, you use your ring finger to push forward, and then as you move the cards down, you use your index finger to complete the pivot, thus causing the color change to happen visibly and in front of your face. So, with these 3 cards held together like this, it's a bit of a challenge, but I know you're probably up to it. So you may want to try it this way. So let's just give you a quick look at the change done the way that it's meant to be done. Here's the normal side, there's the gimmick side. So 1 push and 1 pull, and you've done the change. Now, although I like doing it like this, it won't fly by everybody. So you may still want to add this swirl in to begin with, and then do the pivot change as you're swirling and show that the 2 cards have mixed together. The cleanup can be done the same way, but if you have some difficulty with flicking those cards off of there and getting it to square onto the deck, it's also possible just to reach over with your left hand and grab the pair of cards off of the face. Looks like this. It just looks like you're trying to peel the cards apart. So you bring the deck over, grab the 2 cards, peel them apart, and show that they're just 2 queens. Again, because the face card doesn't change on the deck, nobody thinks that anything has happened. I'm going to show you that peeling apart action one more time. We'll put the cards together. We change them, display them. Left hand reaches over, and your thumb takes both of the cards square onto the deck. You open it up, thumb off the Queen of Spades, and show that the 2 queens are normal. That's the basic idea of Vortex. I know that you'll probably have a lot of fun playing around with this, and maybe you'll come up with your own variations. So actually, I'd like to try something with your eyes in particular.
Can it hurt me?
Can I borrow one or both of them for just a moment?
Both.
Both. All right, fantastic. Here's what I'm going to do.
Flick cards in my face?
Not at all. Not at all. All I'm going to do is I'm going to run my finger along the edge of the cards like this. And anytime you want to, just say stop. And when you stop me, you will look at the card that you stopped me at and remember it. And that's all you have to do.
Okay, I'm so nervous.
Can you do that for me?
Yeah.
All right, fantastic.
You're going to do it once, and I'm going to say stop?
Yeah, I'm going to turn away. I'm going to go very, very slowly, so you can stop absolutely any time. Okay?
Stop.
Are you sure? Because that was quick.
Yeah, I'm totally sure.
So remember that one card that you can see.
Okay.
Have you got it? You got it in mind, and there's no other cards that you're thinking of. I'm going to use 2 cards, whatever. This is great. I've got a pair of queens here. Okay? I'm going to use these 2 cards, but don't let that influence the card that you're thinking of.
Okay.
Because I'm going to use these 2 to try to draw out the card that you're thinking of. I know you've got a beer in your hands there, but can you each take maybe one of the cards and make sure that there's nothing special about them, that they are just cards?
Just a card?
Yeah. All right, fantastic.
Check it out, baby.
Just cards. All right. So what you need to do for me, have you ever been hypnotized?
Yes, I have actually.
Nice. Then this will be quick. Because if you've been hypnotized before, this will take effect pretty quickly. I want you to look right there. Would you stand closer to her so you can see it too, just in case it happens? I want you to look right there in the center, because as I move these cards around, they will seem to mix together. They will seem to mix together, swirling together in the center. Okay?
Okay.
But think about the card that you saw. You've got a card in your mind.
Okay.
Think about that card.
Yeah.
Are they mixed together? Not yet. Let's keep thinking about that card.
What?
Keep thinking about the
Okay.
and they've mixed together right there in the center. Oh, perfect. Perfect. 2 cards locked together. Let me peel them apart.
Okay. You're serious?
I saw the 2 of hearts. Is that correct?
Yeah.
That was very right.
Thanks, Annie. Thanks.
Dude, high five, no handshake.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was crazy.
Thanks. So now you know the basics on how to use the Vortex gimmick, but maybe you want to mix it into an entire routine of cards, a full set performance. Sure, it can stand alone on its own. It's a great trick. You could just go up to your friends and say, hey, you want to see something kind of cool? Take the queens out, do the Vortex trick, hand the queens back to them, and you're done. And that's fine. But if you're a paid performer, or if you're working a walk-around gig, you typically have to bring a little bit more to the table. So let me give you an option. First of all, you would set the Vortex gimmick on the bottom, just like you would do in any other case, but you would set the 4 queens on the top of the deck. At this point, you're going to perform 4 of your favorite forces, however you want to do them. Now, my favorite forces involve the queens on the bottom of the deck, but I always like to start off with them on the top, and here's why. I can then turn the deck over, and I can spread through the cards and show that the cards are mixed. Nobody's going to notice that the queens are missing. Now, of course, you have to make sure not to show the 2 5 of diamonds on the face of the deck, so you just do a little bit of a block push-off, a few cards, about a half a dozen, and then start spreading through the deck and say the cards are really well mixed. You just close it up before you get to the top. At this point, you're going to apparently just shuffle the cards as you're talking to somebody, and all you're doing is running the 4 queens to the bottom of the deck. That's it. Just looks like a casual shuffle. Now, I'm going to start off with my absolute favorite force of all, and this one basically comes from Hofzinser. I'm going to spread the cards out. This would normally be done down here. You spread the cards out and have somebody touch one in the center. What's actually going on is that you're spreading the cards out and pulling the bottommost card, the queen, over to be even with the top of the deck. It's a little bit more challenging to do this with the cards held up like this, but you're probably familiar with this force anyway. So that queen is now over here. Somebody touches any card in the center of the deck, and you just say to them, I'll leave that card on the bottom, and you pull out the rest of the cards like this, and then just use the edge to square up these cards and show them apparently the card that they pointed to, which is a queen in this case. And you say, oh, you pointed to a queen. Well, that's a good omen, because I need the 4 queens to show you some magic. Now you say, I'm going to run my thumb along the edge of the deck like this. And you're just going to say stop anytime. And here's what's happening. You're gripping the deck so that 3 fingers touch the face of the next queen. Your thumb riffles the edge, and when they say stop, you're going to reach in and take out all of the cards from the bottom except for the queen, which is held back by those 3 fingers. So you just pull those right out. From the top, it looks like this. It's a very simple riffle force. They say stop, and you pull out those cards and turn this hand face up and deal off the next queen. So it looks like they've stopped you on the second queen. Now at this point, I need to get one of these queens to the top of the deck. So all I'm going to do is very simple. While they're surprised that those 2 queens are there and I'm already in this position, I'm going to kind of do a pass like this. Now, it's not much of a move, but it's really easy to do. You're just pulling the bottom card around to the top and squaring the deck. Now, obviously, since there's not much going on, they don't even notice that that's happened. If you want to do a double undercut and bring the card to the top, that's fine too. I prefer doing it this way. Now, at this point, you have 1 queen on the bottom, 1 queen on the top, and your gimmicked cards are still set up underneath the bottommost queen. Now you're going to use the glide to do a force. So they didn't see that one go to the top. We'll get to that one in a second. But all I'm going to do is to hold the deck face down and pull back the bottommost queen just a little bit with those fingers. I like to do the forces in this order because that way the position of my right hand doesn't change very much. Now I'm going to be pulling cards out from the bottom, but because I have a gimmicked card next, I have to do a double glide. It's not difficult to do. I have to push that gimmicked card back a little bit. And because I want to keep the other 5 of diamonds in place, it's more of a triple glide. So once I've pulled this queen back, and before I deal any cards out, I just push the next couple of cards back kind of as a block. Now fortunately, it doesn't matter how many cards are pushed back. As long as I get at least those 3 cards, then I can start pulling cards off of the bottom. It looks like I'm dealing cards from the bottom of the deck, but I'm actually leaving my entire setup in place. At any point, the spectator can say stop. I then square the deck up, I turn it over, and I show that there's a queen here. Now you don't have to be concerned about dealing the queen off. As a matter of fact, you want people to start seeing the 5 of diamonds down there on the bottom. So I turn my hand over and I deal the next queen off, And then I pick up all the cards on the table, because at this point sometimes people think that they're all queens. But I show that they're all different. And now I'm just going to push all of those cards into the center of the deck, thus retaining both the bottom and the top stack. Here's the last one that I do, no force at all. Your last queen is already on the top of the deck, so all you do is you spread the cards out, you have somebody take any card out of the center. When they take the card out of the center and they look at it, it's not a queen. And you go, oh, well, I didn't expect that. I expected them to all be queens, and now you're going to perform a top change. If you're not familiar with a top change, well, this particular video isn't going to go into any depth of the top change, but you can look into it and practice it yourself. But basically, it's exchanging this card for the top card in a gesture. And the gesture that I like to use for this case is, oh, 3 queens there. Would you do me a favor and just turn them face down? Now at that point, I've exchanged the cards. I'm going to show it to you again. The jack comes back here, comes close to this hand. I exchange the 2 cards and I gesture down like this. What it should look like to the audience is though this card came down and I just turned the other hand over and they sort of passed one another. So I say, oh, well, I didn't expect that. Would you do me a favor and just turn those queens face down? Okay? So just like this, here, do me a favor and turn the queens face down. As soon as they turn the queens face down, then I toss what was apparently the jack onto them. We mix the cards around, and when I turn them over, we have all 4 queens, and the jack is nowhere to be seen. That's how I like to get the queens into the routine. Now, what I'm going to be doing is using the Vortex gimmick as a justification for a sandwich routine. It's a really simple one. I'm just going to spread the cards out again and have somebody pick a different card. And at this point, it's okay if I know what this card is. It's also okay if I don't. This card can also be signed or not signed. It doesn't matter. In my case, because I've worked for a lot of people in a lot of situations and I don't want them to forget the card, I always look at it. So as soon as they take the card out, I take it back from them and I say, I'm getting a feeling that you chose the 8 of hearts. A little bit of a joke. And then I say, the 8 of hearts is a red card, so I'm going to need contrast. I'm going to use the black queens. Now, if I turn this over and it was a black card, then I would say, oh, let's say 8 of spades. The 8 of spades is a black card, so I'm going to use the 2 black queens to help me find the card. So either way, I'm using the black queens. So basically, I take the 8 of hearts, I turn it over, I get rid of the 2 red queens, and I say in a moment those queens are going to find the 8 of hearts, but I've got to get them warmed up. I take them and rub them together face to face like this. Now, depending on the company you're working for, you can get some mileage out of a few jokes here with rubbing the queens together face to face. I'll leave that to your discretion. As soon as you get the queens back, then you're going to be performing Vortex, so you get yourself into that position. And you say, once the queens are warmed up, I have to make sure that they'll actually be able to suck your card into them. So I'm going to create a tiny vortex right there in the center of those 2 cards. Can you see the tiny vortex? At this point, they freak out, and you say, I think it's working perfectly. Let's separate the queens, and now we'll have them do their work. So the 2 queens get placed down. The 8 of hearts gets replaced anywhere in the deck, and controlled to the top by your favorite method. My favorite method, a pass. So now the 8 of hearts is on the top, so now you just take the 2 queens, and you're basically going to be using the same add-in move that you used for Vortex. So I just have a little finger break underneath the selected card. I put the 2 queens on there. I pick the 2 queens up in the same way to show them. I'm going to do the same thing in crossing them over, kind of like this. But what I'm going to do now is to move the frontmost queen to the back. And what that does is it sandwiches their card underneath it between the 2 queens, like so. I'm going to put the deck down because I'm just getting into the same position to show them 2 cards. And now I'm going to square the whole thing together and show that there's a queen on each side, like so. And I'm going to separate them again. But as I separate them this time, I've left the selected card hidden behind this queen facing the other way. So now I show the two queens, I put them together, I give them a little shake and a little rub, and one card gets sucked between them, the selected card. That's a little way you can incorporate Vortex into your routine. Cool. Who here knows something about cards?
I know.
You do?
Numbers and letters.
You know the numbers, the suits, that kind of stuff? All right. Remind me again, what's your name?
Jerry.
Jerry. All right. Now, Jerry, my name's Dan.
Hi,
Hi. How are you? Jerry, if you had to pick like a favorite card, what card would it be? Just if you had to pick one out of the top. A queen. A queen. Let's just say a queen. Okay? Well, you said a queen of spades. That's specific. We might get to it. But let's just say the queens, for example. Okay? Cool. And which one do you like the best? Spades. Queen of spades. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spread the cards out like this. Now you saw that they were all mixed up and they're all there and blah, blah, blah and all that, right? All I want you to do is to touch the back of any card in the center of the deck. Just touch the edge of it. That one right down there. This one. I'm going to leave it on the bottom so that there's absolutely no way that I can see it.
Okay.
Now, which card did you say?
Oh, Queen of Spades.
So you take the Queen of Spades and hold on to that. But I can't do much magic with just one card. Okay, so we're going to try to find the other queens. What was your first name?
Delaney.
Delaney. Delaney, I'm going to run my thumb along the edge like this. I want you to just say stop at any time. Okay, any time.
Stop.
Right there, and you're going to stop me on the Queen of Clubs. That's the next queen. We now have two queens left to find. What's your name?
Sarah.
Sarah. All right, Sarah. Sarah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to deal from the bottom of the deck. Okay? I'm going to deal cards face down from the bottom of the deck. That's because I'm a crooked dealer. Okay? And anytime you want, as early or as late as you want, you can stop me. Anytime.
All right, stop.
Right there?
Yes.
Now, I'm going to put this one down because you stopped me there.
Okay.
Okay? And whatever card is next is going to be your card. You ready? Whatever card is next. Ooh, close. You hold on to that one. Okay? So far, oh yeah, nice, huh? So far, we have found a bunch of the queens, right? But we haven't, a bunch of them. But we have not found all of the queens. There's one queen left. No, come on, I'm not saying anything about you. No, why are you pointing to him when I say there's one queen left? Yes, he is going to find it. It means absolutely nothing. It means absolutely nothing, okay? But you will find the last queen, the Queen of Diamonds. All right, so just reach in and yank one.
Anyone?
Anyone. And show everybody the card.
Show you or no?
Show everybody the card. It's the Queen of Diamonds. What did you get? You were close. You were so close. You got a 7 of diamonds. It's so close. Could somebody loan me that queen for a second? Yeah. I'm going to rub the 7 of diamonds like that to change it into the last queen. So you can hold on. So you can hold on to that. That's 4 queens. Now I'm going to use a couple of those cards to help me find a selected card. I need a card selected. You have not. No, you're going to pick it out without telling anybody what it is.
Okay.
Don't tell anybody what it is, okay? So just reach in there and yank one of those cards out, any one you want. Don't go for that one. That was so obvious. I saved him, didn't I? Didn't I? Did everybody think? And what card did you get? Now don't tell anybody what card you have. He has the 5 of hearts. But we aren't, no, keep it hidden. But we're not going to know that it's the 5 of hearts. But I'm going to try to find it using the queens of the opposite color. So could I have those back? The Queen of Spades and the Queen of Clubs. The other 2 queens, even though we found those, we don't actually need those because they're the same color as his card. So we're going to get rid of those. So we need the Queen of Clubs and the Queen of Spades. Would you do me a favor, Sarah?
Yes.
Put the 2 queens together and kind of rub them face to face. 2 queens rubbing together, lovingly, face. What? You're still here. I'm watching her. Now, in a moment, they're going to find his card. Okay? I think you've done it well.
I rubbed him good.
You rubbed him good. I think you did. The only way that we can make sure that Sarah did her job well is to check the queens. Because the queens have to create a vortex to actually suck his card in between them. So they have to create a little vortex. Now, I don't know if you can see it right there in the center. Can you see it? Right in the middle? Do you see it? You don't need another shot. Here, check this out. Watch right in the center. Do you see? Look, can you see it? The queens have actually joined together, one card swirling into the other card like that. Let me separate them. Check them out, Sarah. I know, no, really. Take them. It's scary, isn't it? And what was your name?
Jake.
Jake. All right, Jake, you are going to put your card back in anywhere. Just say stop.
Stop.
Toss your card right there, face down. That's fantastic. We have no idea what card you've chosen. It's the Five of Hearts. Okay, we're going to try to find his Five of Hearts, which we have no idea what it is, using those two queens. I'm going to put those two queens together just like I did before, kind of in this weird shape like that, okay? They're actually squeezed together, but I'm going to change them a little bit, so one's on the other side of the other one. We'll leave your card down there, wherever it happens to be. Now remember, it's just the two queens and his card somewhere down here in the deck. Check this out. What was your card?
Five of Hearts.
Watch. One card between the two queens.
That was so good.
Your Five of Hearts.
Very impressive.
Hi, I'm Dan Hawes. I am here with some bonus routines for Dan Harlan's Vortex card. Okay, so for this first bonus effect, you are going to need some double stick tape. You're going to need your Vortex card. You're also going to need the Queen of Clubs and a duplicate Five of Diamonds. Now let's get into the setup. Okay, the preparation for this is really simple. You're just going to take a piece of double stick tape, quite small, about that size will work. And you're just going to place it on the center of the Queen of Clubs. Okay, you might want to dab it once so you know it's not going to come off on the other card. Okay, now here's the setup for the bonus effect. You're going to take the Queen of Clubs and you could bow it a little bit like that so it doesn't stick to the card below it. If it does, it's easy to just unstick it. If you don't want to make noise when you're unsticking it because you're in a quiet area, just twist it instead of pull up. Okay, so the Queen of Clubs is on top. You have the regular Five of Diamonds on the bottom, and then on top of that, the Vortex card. Now you're set up and ready to perform. Okay, so to perform this, you're going to take the cards out of the box, place the box aside, or on the floor, and you're going to just nonchalantly use the top and bottom card of the deck. If you want, you can force them, okay? But usually I just come out and say, okay, here we'll just use some random cards. We'll use the Queen of Clubs and the Five of Diamonds, okay? What you're doing is you're just throwing the Queen of Clubs on the table, and you're turning the deck over, and remember you have two fives, but you want to show the back of the five and show that it's a normal back without really saying anything. So what you're going to do is you're going to get a double, pick up two cards, and you're going to say, and we'll use the five. Okay? I do a fancy little spin thing. You can do that if you want, or you can just say, and we'll use the five. Now what you're going to do is you're going to come back down and you're going to place the other five, the normal five, down on the deck, but you're going to risk kill at the same time. and put the deck aside so they don't see the other 5. What I like to do is hang the deck off the edge a little bit so when I come back to grab them it's a little easier. Alright, now you're at this point, so in their mind they saw the backs of both cards. Okay, before I get into like the other part of it, I'll show you how you could make it seem like a free selection. So put this back on the bottom and put the queen on top. What you're going to do is you're going to do a riffle force. So you're going to first riffle force the queen of clubs. So you're going to go down, they say stop, and you take the queen of clubs off. Now you're going to do a riffle force again, but a little bit different because you want to force this card. So you're going to swing cut, riffle force, and when they say stop, now this time you just go, and we'll use the 5 of diamonds. Bring it to the bottom of the pack, turn it over, and you could show it and say, we'll use this. Okay? You're nonchalantly doing that. All right? So remember, take the 5 off and risk kill, putting the cards down. Now from this point, everything happens with the Vortex card gimmick back towards you. You're going to pick up the queen of clubs, and I'm going to show you an exposed view. You're going to take the Vortex card and you're going to line these 2 corners up. Okay? You're going to line them up as best you can to where these lines line up pretty good. Okay? I'm going to tweak this one on the bottom a little bit. Okay, it's a little difficult to do on this angle, but in action it's quite simple. Once I have it lined up and I'm satisfied, remember this all happens here. Okay, so I'll do that again. So queen here, 5 here, I pick them up. You should be talking and you know, just engaging them while you're doing this. And you just, once you have them lined up and you're happy, you're just going to squeeze. You're going to squeeze right where the double stick tape is. Now, from here, all you're going to do is you're just going to come down and you're going to spin the card on the table like that. Okay? Give it a good spin. Make sure the surface is nice and smooth. You give it a nice spin. Okay? Just like that. Now, if you're left-handed, or if you're even not left-handed, spinning it that way, I like, if this was a bigger surface, I would spin it harder. I just don't want to fling it off. But I like spinning it to the left because that's how I feel the design goes. Either way, it's fine. I just like how it looks like that. Okay? As this is spinning, what you're going to do is you're going to pick the cards up, okay? Not revealing the 5 of diamonds. You're going to pick it up like this. And to me, what this effect seems like is that these 2 cards melted together. Okay, so it is a vortex, but to me, they melted together. They spun together. So what I do is I come over and I pick it up from the Queen of Clubs corner. Pick it up, and I just do that. And I say, look, they actually melted together. Okay, from this point, what I do is, what's funny is the double stick tape actually works really well in this effect because when you pull these apart, it's actually going to make a sound. And in this instance, I actually like that it makes noise. It sounds like you're really peeling them apart, which you really are. So I do this a couple times, and then I come over. It's a meeting action. They should never see this 5 of diamonds. You come over, and you're just peeling the vortex card off. So it's, okay, and you get that nice peel. Okay, again, I'll show you in action. In action, Jackson. So it's here, spin, pick up, they actually melted together. If you try hard enough, you can actually peel them apart. And there's the Queen of Clubs, okay? And here is the 5 of diamonds. Now, to be able to put the regular 5 of diamonds down, what you're going to do is you're going to pick up the double, and you're going to leave the top card, the vortex card, behind as you're pulling out the real 5 of diamonds. I can't remember the move. Yeah, the KM move. Yes. Thank you. The KM move. So, but you're also going to do the KM move as you put the deck down. So it's here, so here, put the deck down, and you can show the back of this 5. Okay. Now the only little bit of dirty you have going on is this double stick tape in the center there. So if you wanted to have another queen of clubs and top change it, you could, or if you want to just, as you're talking, peel this off, you can. But what I do is I usually just throw the 5 down on top of the queen, maybe push it to the double stick tape and kind of just show like that and then put them away. But if you feel like they're the kind of person that's going to want to pick it up and examine it, you can do a top change or a switch, or put it on the floor for that matter. So that is the first bonus effect. Okay, guys, here's a little tip for you that I like. When you line up these cards, okay, you line them up. If you feel like going a little overboard, which I think is a little necessary in this, if you look here, you can see on the edge of this card that there's white where there should be all black. So what I do is I take a Sharpie marker and just color the side in where the club is. Take your time doing this so you don't go overboard, literally overboard. Now you can see when you put the card together and you line it up, you now have the whole thing black on the edge. Okay, just a little detail that I like to do, just coloring in. It's totally up to you if you want to do it or not. Okay, guys, here is the other bonus routine. If you guys are familiar with the Hummer card, then you'll understand this idea. The Hummer card and the Vortex card work perfect together. So what you can do is you can just have the Vortex card in your pocket and a regular Queen of Clubs. And you can have the regular Queen of Clubs on the bottom, so you can just do a frustration count and show both back. So you show the 5 of diamonds and the Queen of Clubs. Okay, from this point it's all the same actions. Taking the Vortex card, lining it up. Make sure the whole time you don't break your little gimmick for the Hummer card. Squeeze them together and just do this any presentation you want. You're going to come down. Don't flash this too soon. You're going to come down and just start, spinning. So you're going to spin it, spin it, spin it, spin it, spin it, and it stops. And you get this beautiful image of the Vortex card. You could do as much Hummer stuff as you want. You can get it to float up to your hand like that, and it stops. Whatever you want, but you get this awesome spin. You can even land it in their hand. No, you can't, because that would be gutsy. You could, but it would be gutsy. But you could land it anywhere you want. You could do it onto a table, so when it comes down it keeps spinning and then stops. Okay, so the Hummer card combined with the Vortex card is awesome. Now when you're done, you can make it land, and you can kind of do the same thing, just reverse the process. Come over, peel them apart, which is still a cool sound. Take the Queen of Clubs, put it on the bottom, and show them both normal again, and place this in your pocket, and you're ready to go for the next time.
Well, now you've had a chance to mess around a little bit with the Vortex gimmick. I know you're probably there having a lot of fun with this. I know I do. I think it's great visual magic that you can use, just about anywhere that you go. So I hope that you come up with some variations on this. If you come up with something neat, just let me know. You can always find me somewhere out there on the interweb.